Hi, welcome to Toys and Hood. I'm Steve. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Alien starter set from Free League Publishing for the Alien roleplay game. So, Free League Publishing are a Swedish roleplay company, and I probably have to say now I think they're my favourite gaming company. They seem to be really good at taking an existing intellectual property and then basically drawing what makes exciting, what makes that intellectual property work, and making a game that really suits it. And I get a similar feeling with a lot of the Fantasy Flight games with Star Wars ones. Say Star Wars Legion has the feel that you're in a Star Wars film. Free League Publishing are trying to capture with the Alien game, and I think they do capture it, that feel of space survival, being hunted down against a deadly opponent. There's a good range of Alien products now. In fact, I have them all there. There's this set. There's a hardback book, a bigger rule book. Then there's a book that details the Colonial Marines. There's a set of the stress dice and a set of the regular dice. And then there's two adventure box sets, the Destroyer of Worlds and the Heart of Darkness. But needless to say, it's the starter set where we want to start that's meant to get us into the game. So let's take a look at that. So first up, the game comes with an 104-page rulebook. This is a softback rulebook. It's basically lifted straight from the main hardback rulebook that you can get, but it only covers the main rules that you need. So there's no campaign rules and there's no spaceship rules, but it does have all the rules you'll need to play the adventure that's in this box set. It's a bit light on aliens, it's themselves, although the aliens are actually part of the adventure. So you get the rules for xenomorphs there, but you don't get other things like, I think it's the Arcturans that are another alien race. They're covered in the main book, the big book. The system is the Year Zero engine. This originally was used in Free League's Mutant Year Zero game, which was a post-apocalyptic survival game. Basically, it involves rolling a number of d6s, and you're looking to get sixes to succeed. You roll a number of dice equal to like your basic stats, so say your agility, and then you would add your skill, which might be firearms. So you add those two numbers up, that's the amount of dice you roll, and you get a single six and you've succeeded. You're then allowed, because it turns out it's not so easy to get a single six, especially when you're rolling, just 5 dice. You're allowed to push the roll and re-roll it. But when you do that, you then add in a yellow dice into your re-roll. So you actually get an extra dice. But these yellow dice, as well as having a success symbol on the 6, it also has a facehugger symbol. And if you roll that facehugger symbol, then you'll make a panic roll. So what this reflects is you're pushing yourself, you're getting stressed, you're more likely to succeed. But as the game goes on, you build up this stress, you get more effective, but it's more likely that your nerve goes and you panic and you lose control. If you lose control, you'll roll on a table and see what effect you get. Sometimes it's just a case of you start trembling. Sometimes you'll throw your weapon on the floor, which is not ideal when a xenomorph has just appeared. And sometimes you'll scream and you'll basically end up freaking out the rest of your team as well, and they'll become more stressed. I really like it. It's a pretty neat system. Success is never guaranteed, but it is nice and straightforward to understand. Really worth noting that our characters in this, our players, they're not superheroes. Characters will have unique abilities, but they tend to be along the lines of, I can't remember the name of it, but there's one where you crack jokes. I think it's like banter, and you crack jokes when you rest, and it allows you to your team to reduce their stress quicker. So that's kind of cool, but it's not exactly saving the world. There's no abilities that are going to allow you to wrestle a xenomorph to the ground with your bare hands. I really like the look of the book. The green text on the black gives it that kind of, that alien text, the mother kind of feel to them, which is really helpful. And it's full of lots of nice artwork as well, which I think has all been commissioned for this. At first, I was surprised that you don't see any screenshots from the film, but then I think actually having unique artwork is like, some of them will be familiar. They look like you've seen them in the films, but having that unique artwork helps you make the game your own. After all, we're looking to experience the feel of our Alien game, of our characters in the Alien universe, not to actually just relive the films. There's then a 48-page adventure, Chariot of the Gods. This is by sci-fi novelist Andrew E.C. Gasker. He's a sci-fi novelist. He's also the Now, I'm not entirely sure the word is, he's like the continuity manager between 20th Century Fox and other companies when it comes to the Alien worlds. So he definitely knows a thing or two, and all of the adventures and all the books have lots of tributes to other parts of the Alien universe, which I think is really, really neat. The game is designed to, so the Chariot of God's Adventure is designed to be played by 3 to 5 players plus the GM. I personally couldn't imagine playing it with less than 5 players. It's very important, the interaction between the different players, and to have one of them an NPC or just missing altogether, I think would do the adventure a bit of a disservice. It's what's called a cinematic adventure in the Alien games. So cinematic adventures they're one-shots. They're not going to just take one session, but they'll take 3 or 4 sessions. But afterwards, don't expect a follow-up. Quite often, don't expect a follow-up because everyone's dead. It's certainly at the end of quite a few adventures, I've found there's not as many characters left. It's a good idea to be forewarned with that, because otherwise, you'll get attached to something and you'll be disappointed. Whereas if you know your character might die, firstly, it adds to the tension, but secondly, it means that when it happens, it's not a big surprise. So I really like the adventure. It's brilliant, both in terms of what the players encounter, but also the way they interact with each other. Every character has, and in fact the cards are in the book as well for this, in the box set, every character has an agenda, and these agendas change as the adventure goes on. They're a really good way to bring the players in conflict with each other, which adds some distrust and suspense, but also just keeps the plot moving forward. It does mean that you'll want some mature players when you play this, as they will come in conflict with each other. Then you need people who are going to manage that properly. You don't want people who are going to be upset from it. It's probably better off to, monitor your group. It's like a rose bush, really. You kind of want to make sure you prune away people that you don't want in this type of game. Maybe there's other games that are more their thing. A bit of D&D, something like that. The rules for the monsters are in the book as well. I won't spoil anything by saying what's in there, but it doesn't have the full range of xenomorphs from all the films. You'll need the main books from that. You'll need the main hardback book if that's what you want. But it does cover everything you'll need for the Chariot of God's Adventure. There's then a charted space map, which is it's a great way of showing your players how very, very small they are in this very big universe. It'll help you with Chariot of the Gods to understand whereabouts it's set, and essentially how in the middle of nowhere you end up. But it's probably the least essential thing that's in this pack. What is important, though, is on the other side, when you flip it over, there's the floor plans you'll need for the adventure as well. Nice big poster that you can sit in the middle of the table while you're playing it. You then also get 84 game markers for tracking the game. These are just like motion tracker tokens that you can put on. You can put on the map so you can see which rooms they're in, but obviously you won't see what they are until you flip them over. So that adds a bit of suspense, and these will probably come in handy for future adventures as well. There's then 56 high quality custom cards for weapons, personal agendas and initiative in combat. These are really useful for the adventure, and then some will be useful in future games. So the agendas are very specific for the adventure, but there's summary sheets for weapons, there's summary sheets for NPCs, which you could use in other games at a push, and then there's just initiative cards, which are literally cards going from 1 to 10 that you deal out to decide what order people go in. But they're going to be handy in future games as well. You also get character sheets for the 5 characters, the 5 crew of the Montero, which is the ship, and that has on the one side that has a little bit of the background, any special rules you've got, and then you flip it over, and on the other side is basically your character sheet. Finally, there's one set each of 10 engraved dice. There's the base dice, which are black and have a symbol for success on them, and then there's the stress dice, which are yellow, and they have the symbol for success, but they also have the facehugger symbol for failure. You're going to use these again and again and again in games. And they're really nice. All of this stuff, like I said, the initiative cards and these dice, they're not necessary for the game. You can easily make it up, but I think they really, really help capture that feel of Alien. So in conclusion, This is a brilliant introduction to the Alien RPG. As a starter set, it does exactly what you want it to do. It gives you everything you need to get playing. You just need the one box. And I almost think that's its kind of weakness, is it's almost too good. It doesn't feel like there's much need to buy anything else for this. I've now run Chariot of Gods 5 times, and every time I've enjoyed running it. My real shortage isn't that I don't want to run it, it's that I've run out of friends to play it with. You can always take it further, you can buy some more bits. So you'll want the core rulebook, maybe, which has the campaign rules, so you can go and explore the rest of the galaxy. You can also then design your own characters. Or there's other cinematic box sets. As I said at the beginning, there's Destroyer of Worlds, and then there's Heart of Darkness. I won't spoil any of these, but they kind of form a trilogy with Chariot of the Gods, where elements of each game are brought into the others, but they are cinematic, they're standalone games, so you won't have the same characters in each one. So Chariot of the Gods is, you're very much like a group of space truckers. The Destroyer of Worlds, you're Marines, and in Heart of Darkness, I believe you're more of a scientific kind of crew. So there's very different tones between the games, but they are linked together. In fact, there's quite a cool mechanic that does tie in these things, where if you play your agendas that I mentioned earlier, your little missions, if you play them well in an act, you get given a storytelling point, which essentially is like a free success. If you don't use those successes in this cinematic adventure, then they carry forward with you as a player, so you can start the next adventure with more successes. It's a nice little incentive to kind of reward role-playing and things, you know, if anyone needs a little nudge. There's a Colonial Marines box set, book, which has some more information in as well. Not really going to expand much on the starter set stuff because there's not really many Marines in it, but that will be handy for actually trying to run bigger campaigns and get a bit more flavour for the setting as well. So as I say, most of the stuff is in here. That you need, certainly everything you need to play, and the value for money is outstanding. I think you can buy this set for between £30 to £40. To buy everything individually, you'd probably be looking at £80. If you order it from Free League, then you also get a copy of the PDF, and I think that's something they do as well if you order it from other stockists. So you just get a link to the PDF. I think it's on DriveThruRPG. You can download that. There's then also a Roll20 module for this as well, which has everything set up for you to play. I've not used that. I ended up creating my own modules for Roll20, which you can do off the PDFs. You know, you've got the image on computers; it's quite easy. But you know, if you want it already done for you, then maybe take a look at the Roll20. So there you go. This is Steve Yates, last surviving officer of the USSC Toys in the Hood, signing off. Thank you very much for your time, and please like and subscribe to the videos with the links below. Cheers.